I want you to think about this. Imagine your child, he is getting extremely good marks in school. Eventually, he goes to college, he gets extremely good marks there. But do you know what? He starts to struggle to manage his money, especially when he lands his first job. And do you want to know the reason why this struggling mechanism happens with your children? In today's fast paced society and AI driven world, there are so many scenarios whereby if you do not know how to help your child, I'm talking to you parents, in terms of money related matters, eventually the child will find it difficult. And that is the reason I have brought out this special video for you. Hi, this is Anirudh Bellare here. Welcome to the 62nd video of your best financial life series. As you clicked onto this video, you would have seen the thumbnail of mine and the title given, School Won't Teach Your Kids This. Now, as I gave you the example in the start, there will be points which I will be teaching you as responsible parents and as myself responsible. I will be helping you to help your child in terms of how important it is to learn these money related skills. Now, what is these skills and all you will learn? Okay, so first let's move on to the first most important point and let's start this very interesting topic. See, understand, as parents, now right now imagine, as I've been telling you, my age is 23. Okay, I'm just giving you an example right now. Maybe your child's age will be whatever. But understand one thing, for a person, say for example, a child who is 10 years, 20 years, whatever, say the example, a parent was born in the age of, say 1979 or whatever. And finally, the child was born when, say example, 2008. Say for example, the child was born in 2008. Now, why am I giving you these numbers? Understand, when you parents, remember, when you were born, that time the world, and especially when it comes to money, there was a lot of difference. Now, what do I mean by this term difference? See, right now we are in this age of 2026 when you are actually getting this video. And in today's day, you have your artificial intelligence booming, your technology doing extremely, very well. And there are so many other factors. Now, how is technology related? I'm sorry, I just gave you an example. But what I'm trying to tell is that the way you handle money today and the way the conditionings were taught by your grandparents, especially at the time of, say, 1980s or 1990s and all, there would have been a lot of changes. Because what you see in today's day and what was there at that time, 100% there will be a difference. See, in today's day, like I'm giving an example, like any child, say for example, right now I said I'm 23 and I very well know how to use artificial intelligence. So I can go on any artificial intelligence website and ask, hey, how do I actually learn about money? And they are very well ready to teach. But instead of doing all of this, you parents, it will be a very good thing if you actually slowly train your child. Now say I'm already 23, you leave me. I'm just giving an example of myself. Say for example, your child is 10 years or 12 years or whichever, like ninth grade, that is 9th standard of school. Now, it becomes very important that whether it is, say I'm talking about Indian rupees right now, whether it is 500 rupees or whether it is $10 or whichever currency, how do you actually use that money? Because remember, money is an energy exchange. You get money for the value you give. And this is a very big core understanding which you need to learn. And see, this video is mostly, I can't say mostly, I'm giving this video to all of you. And for you to understand these points becomes extremely crucial. And see, the word value here is extremely important because in today's day, when you have a lot of careers, a lot of choices, it is very easy to get distracted. But to actually know what you are good at in terms of earning that money, in terms of, say, whatever career your career is, like, say, for example, a psychologist or, say, a doctor, whatever value they are giving in their profession is what they earn money from. That is the earning part. But from the young age, if the child has been taught how to use it, that I will be covering more in more crucial steps. Okay, so I hope you understood the first point is nothing but the conditionings and thinking patterns of how it was in the 1980s and in the 2010s and today's 2026. There will be little bit of difference or more number of difference. See, you may or may not agree with my point. It's okay, it's not a problem. It's not that you actually have to agree, but the motive is that you teach your children from a young age. Now, what do you teach? I will help you with that. Okay, so let's move on to the second most important point. So the second point is nothing but a continuation of the first point, whereby money. So I'll say, I'm just writing the word money over here, money or say cash, whatever, money or cash is nothing but a tool. Now, what is a tool? Tool is something which comes of use. Now, money obviously comes of use. And remember, as I told you, is a continuation of the first point. Money is got only when you give your value for any exchange of service or whatever you do. And that is why, for when you teach your children, when they ask you, Mom, Dad, what is this note which you have in your hand? That's when you teach them about how important it is for them to understand this money related concept, so that in future when they actually have to handle money, it becomes very important. And remember, this money can work either for you in terms of, you can get whatever you want, or it can work in your reverse compounding, whereby if at all the child takes some kind of loan in the future, then for the child to actually pay back that loan, he has to first cover the interest. INT is nothing but interest, and then pay back the principal amount slowly. So interest and then the principal amount. Now, how a child can handle this, it becomes a parent's responsibility in terms of teaching this. Okay, so these are some kind of basic points. Now you can tweak all these points while teaching your children, so that it becomes easier in terms of their way. Like, say, for example, I'm just recording this video for you. You can teach them in terms of a game. There are so many board games whereby all of this can actually be taught. Okay, and games is one of the best way whereby a child learns, and even adults learn, because brain uses, the board game uses both sides of your brain, your left brain and your right brain, which is your creative and your logical brain together, so that you can compete in the board game, especially if the board game is related to money. Okay, so let's move on to the third most important point. So usually what I have noticed is, I have seen a lot of parents, see, it may not be you, but I have seen a lot of parents, whenever their child asks for pocket money, they are very, easily ready to give it. And it is very true. There is no harm in giving your child pocket money. But for them to understand how important that money is when it actually comes in the child's hand, so basically you teach them the importance of money and how to use it the right way. Like, say, for example, if you have excess money with you and you feel like giving it to somebody who is actually in requirement of that money, like, say, for example, a person comes on the street or whatever, who is, in need of that money or whatever, if you have extra with you, you could as well give out some money. And I too do the same, because whatever I teach, if I don't practice this, then that makes no sense for me to actually stand here and give this thought and knowledge to you. Because remember, the person who teaches, he himself, if he does not follow it, then that is a very big shame. That is the reason whatever I keep on teaching you, I keep making a disclaimer saying I do practice it in my life as well. It's not because to actually show any proof, but to ensure that I feel happy from within. Because I'm not here to show anyone what I'm doing, whether it's giving a 20 rupees note or $1 or whatever. Okay? When it comes to your perspective, now teaching them, as I mentioned, while giving your pocket money, how important it is to allocate the money in a right fraction as in right section or whatever you can say. The term allocation, like I've been telling you all of this, you have your needs, wants, your investments. I know your child cannot invest in that age, but at least you can teach them the mindset towards it. So by the time they actually turn 18, they can slowly get their hands on how to invest, and whether it is even 100 rupees or $1 or whatever it is, so that they get the hang of it. That is the understanding towards how do you actually compound your money with the help of time. Okay, so let's move on to the fourth most important point. See, one of the most important things which I have again noticed is, especially when parents are talking about money, they keep the child away. Now, why does this happen? Two circumstances. The first circumstance is they do not want their child to actually know how the finances is going. Like, say, going as in, say for example, a loan has to be paid and the mom dad are in extreme tension on how do they need to pay the loan. Do they need to pay the loan as in how will they arrange the funds for the loan, just for an example. So they don't want to give this same stress to their child, so they keep their child away. In your second circumstance, you have that you, as parents, you do not want your child to actually indulge in what is the mom's or dad's salary, whatever. Now see, it's just a example I'm giving here, but what I'm trying to tell you is, even if it is any small money related decisions, and if you include your child, it will be such a big bonus for the child. So the word which I'm trying to give here is nothing but your inclusion in conversations, or you can say inclusion in talks. To be more specific, money talks. So I'm writing a dollar symbol over here just for example. So inclusion in money talks, because the more the child watches the parent in terms of how the parent uses the money, more or less the same or similar conditioning can come to the child, especially when he is dealing with money as well. And in today's day, as I mentioned, the 1979 to 2008 to 2026, with so many decades over, in today's day, when you have a lot of social media platforms, your televisions, you get a lot of advertisements and many other things which could eventually make the child want any particular thing. Like, say for example, if any shampoo or any beautiful clothing which is displayed on an advertisement, the advertisement people are doing correct as in their work is to give the advertisement. But for a child, it can be easily persuasive. I'm not using the direct term persuasive here, but he may feel like the urge to buy that particular thing. So in that circumstance, how the parent needs to ensure that the child can take right decisions by telling this most important thing, whereby asking the child. Because remember, as a child, the child will take emotional decisions. It's pretty obvious. But for the parent, to help the child to make the right decision, the parent can tell the child, ask yourself one question: why do you need it in the moment? Now, that term why becomes extremely important, and when. If you are clear on why do you need that particular clothing, just because, say, for example, the child has a lot of pocket money, feels like buying a clothing, there should be a strong why. Because if he understands this why, is when he can make that powerful decision. If not, it is very easy to buy anything, whether it is any random clothing and all. But why that specific clothing? Like, say, I consider myself as a 5-year-old child. Do you want to know the meaning of 5-year-old child? Say 18 plus 5 years, which is 23 years. There's a reason to it. Now, see, if I did not ask myself why am I buying this blazer, then I would have bought something else, which would eventually have not made sense. And I had very clear priorities on why do I need this coat. So you just ask yourself that question, and when. In the moment do you need it, or in how much time do you need it? So I'm writing the questions here because, see, questions is what start making your mind to think. And when you start thinking is like when you make the ball rolling. You can actually get answers to your own questions asked. That's why it becomes very important here. Okay, so let's move to the next important point. See, as a person who is actually heading this personal finance channel on which you're watching this video on, and I keep talking about the term investments, but do you want to know one of the best investment? First of all, the best investment is yourself, because it is dependent on you that how much money you can earn. This is just as a general audience I'm making this statement. But for your children, please try and understand that for your child to actually use that money, you are the best role models. Because remember, as I mentioned this term osmosis from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, if I'm not wrong, that with the people whom you are with in your environment is with whom you eventually start behaving or getting and using habits like them. Like, say, for example, if both the parents, they teach their child on how is the right way to use the money according to them, because see, there are a lot of people, you have different mindsets. Very good. If the child uses that, well and good. If the child feels like using his own mechanism on using money, so that's also very good. So the understanding of how important the environment is, especially when it comes to using money, it becomes important. And as I mentioned a minute ago, that you are the best asset. I said this, right, as a general audience. For your kids, the best investment you can do is teach them on money, because this topic is not taught in school, and that is the reason I'm covering this topic again and again for you, so that you can actually take the importance and crux of this topic and teach the important points to your children. See, there is no need for me to actually teach all of this, but the reason I'm doing so is to gain that awareness in yourself, to actually start teaching anything which you are actually using in your life. I'm sorry I took the word actually a lot, but what I'm trying to tell is, if you use money in a specific way, if you teach your children how to actually use it, and if they use it the same way, it's good. They get to learn at a young age. If not, they would eventually struggle with time, which I don't want for your kids. And that is why I'm here. Okay? So the best investment you can do is teach them that intelligence. Because children are like seeds, remember. The way the seed is nurtured is the way the seed will grow eventually. And it takes time. That's why for anything, whether it is friendships, whether it is learning a new skill, or it is being with a friend group, everything, time is a very important factor here. And when it comes to money, all the more important. Because remember, money is a need for everyone because money solves 95% of the problems. That is why I'm giving this point to you. And if you also teach them, like, say, for example, how important it is to use delayed gratification at times, how important compounding is, which can have leverage over your money with time. All these concepts won't be taught in any school or college or wherever. You can either find it on videos like this or you can teach it by yourself to your child. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I might have repeated some points or I might have not explained few terms properly. Please excuse me if I was not able to live up to your expectation, and I'm really grateful that you actually watched this video till the end. Because remember, I am a mission on helping so many people to be financially free. Now, there is a lot big meaning to financially free, but the motive of me is to actually give you that awareness level so that you can reach an extent whereby you be good money managers with your life, because it is your personal financial life, right? That's why I keep mentioning your best financial life series for this reason only.